What is the biggest turning point in your life? When I was young, there was a program on TV called The Turning Point, and the host used to ask the people or ordinary people. He would interview different people and ask them, what is the biggest turning point in your life? And most of the people, their turning point was a disaster, something bad that happened in their lives. And for some reason, I liked watching that program because every time I watched it, I watched a story that was bad but ended up being good, because something that was a disaster, when it happened to that person, it changed that person's life completely. And right now, at that moment when they were giving it was almost like testimony time when I think about it. When they were telling this story, this time they were not victims, they weren't sad about it, and they were most times glad it happened. You know, many times when problems happen to us, we frown, we feel bad, and we think, why is this happening to me? Because problems keep happening. Because even that turning point in your life is usually a problem or a challenge or a situation that happened, but this time you're almost ready to come out of that victim mentality, and this time you're taking advantage of the problem, because it's like a lesson that is being taught, that has been taught to you over and over, and you've always been repeating the class because you didn't pass, you didn't get the pass mark. But this time you made up your mind and said, I'm sick and tired of failing and not passing. This time I want to make it. Okay, this time I don't want to repeat. This time I want to learn my lessons. And you learned from it. Look at everyone's life that you admire. Okay, look at how when they tell their story, they tell you that they struggled, they tell you that life used to be bad, they tell you that, oh, they used to maybe be homeless at one point in their lives. Okay, but right now, because of the problems that happened, they're now successful. They're now taking advantage of whatever happened, and now there is a mosquito here, and now their lives are so much better than and bigger than their problem. Personally, my turning point happened when over and over again I applied to get my permanent residence, because I used to live abroad, but it was rejected. I applied way too many times, and every time I applied, it was rejected, and I was like, Lord, what is this? Eventually, it's a very long story, and the biggest turning point in my life is when I decided to come back home. I came back home, I was filled with shame, pain, regret, and I was thinking to myself, what a waste of time, what a waste of years. But because of the pain that came with it, because of, you know, everything that comes with failure, regret, you look back at your life and say, Lord, why did you let that happen? Everything that is now happening in my life, the confidence that I have, even these videos that I'm doing, the way I look at life differently. Phone call that came through, and anyways, I was still talking. So my biggest turning point happened because I had lived abroad for many years. I applied, I wanted to stay, but it didn't work out. So the shame that came with that, the pain, and the regrets is exactly what is molding me to be whoever I'm supposed to be in life. Currently, because of that, my relationship with God just got better. I just want to know the Lord better, because instead of being bitter, I decided, you know what, Lord, that did not happen, but I will still love you. Even if there was shame, I will still love the people that are looking down on me. I will still honor them. I will stay cool, calm, and collected, and not returning it, because when people are looking down on you, people that used to look up to you, and now they are literally in a better position than you, it can cause resentment. But I decided and told myself, you know what? I am learning from this, and when I climb the stairs of success, I will know how to treat people that are below me. And what point am I making? Okay, it made me understand many things in life. Okay, I think I had lost my train of thought because the phone keeps ringing. Anyways, it has made me understand many things about life. It has made me realize who my true friends are. I got to understand that life without purpose is meaningless, and I became more serious about purpose, wanting to know what purpose is. And even as I prepare and get ready for to meet a lifetime partner, I am careful because I want it to be in line with purpose. Okay, do you know what I mean? And even those things that happened to me, the pain and the shame, I realized that all that happened because it's connected to purpose. Because literally, when I think about my life purpose right now, it's connected to exactly the experience that I have, the pain that I faced, and the shame that I went through, because it makes me now compassionate. It made me very compassionate about the people that are going through what I went through. And I'm now able to speak life into those people that are going through what I went through. I'm able to stand and help those that are going through what I went through. And when the Lord now puts me in position to be able to help the people that are going through what I went through, it's like when the Bible says that we do not have a high priest who has not faced the same temptations that we faced. Because Jesus was human. He came on earth and he literally faced the same temptations that human beings face. So when we fall short, he understands, and when we repent, the Lord forgives us because he's also been there. He knows how it is. He has lived it. So because he has lived it, he's able to fulfill purpose, because he's now at the right hand of the Father interceding for the saints. Do you know what I mean? He's still working in purpose, but he knows exactly what it means to walk that path that we are walking. So because everything I went through is connected to purpose, it makes a lot of sense now, because I used to pray and ask the Lord, Lord, what is my purpose? What is my life purpose? I was obsessed. I literally bought all the books of, almost all, not all. I bought way too many books of Dr. Miles Monroe, and you know him. He loves purpose if you know him. His message is mainly kingdom and purpose. But I thank God that my turning point and the pain brought me to understand what my purpose is. So I'm going to ask you again, what is the biggest turning point in your life? If you do not already know the answer, when things happen in your life, when you face trouble, or if you're facing trouble, don't just frown on it. Look at it as an opportunity. One, it could be that time when you finally make up your mind that you will not repeat classes, and you will snap out of that victim mentality and take advantage of the trouble you're facing. And this time, you will stand up and learn your lessons. You will get closer to the Lord. You will get to find your purpose. There is way too much you can learn from that situation, the bad situation. Instead of complaining, it could be that you don't have money, but maybe every time you get money, you are misusing it. You don't know the principles of how to handle money. Me too, I'm not perfect, but for me, the biggest turning point in my life was disaster, and I learned a lot from it. And also in the Bible, let me give one or two examples in the Bible. We have a few known characters in the Bible whose lives can be used here to help us understand this better. Like when you look at Joseph in the Bible, Joseph had a beautiful childhood, but his brothers became jealous of him. They went, threw him into a pit. and sold him as a slave. He went to Egypt, he was a slave, okay? And in the house of Potiphar, the wife wanted to abuse him sexually, to rape him, literally. Can you imagine? So there was trouble in his life. He was sold as a slave. He's a slave. Now someone wants to rape him. They accuse him and they wrongfully put him into prison. That is all trouble. That is a series of bad things happening in his life. But this time when he went to prison, I feel like this time he made peace. He made peace with whatever had happened to him. And when they threw him in prison, that was the turning point in his life. I don't know what inner work he did inside, but I feel like that's when that is the time when he started to see purpose. I feel like that's the time he forgave, and that's the time he realized that that's the time he realized what his purpose is, to lead and to interpret dreams and to, be exactly who the Lord created him to be. Because in the prison, much as he was a leader in Potiphar's house, I don't know if he had done all the inner work, because there was still trouble coming his way. Okay, but in the prison, he still became the leader. He was, compassionate about those that were walking that were in the same place like him. You know what I mean? And he knew that once he gets elevated, he will not look down on the people. He's now interpreting dreams. He is a dreamer. Joseph is a dreamer. Okay, he started interpreting dreams for other people, and this time that was it. After that, he started going high. He never went back down, because that was the turning point. I feel like he had to forgive Potiphar's wife, and maybe that's when he forgave his brothers, and that's when he realized that, okay, I'm a dreamer, I will interpret people's dreams, and I am compassionate about all these people that I hear, because the Lord was going to put a lot of people under his care, literally the whole nation of Egypt, because people came, they want to sell themselves. We want to sell ourselves to you, do anything to us. Remember when he became a prime minister, people were coming to him and they literally wanted to, like, if he had not understood his purpose when he was in prison, he would have easily taken advantage of the people. So his turning point was in prison, when he was in prison. So that by the time he was prime minister, he had already done the inner work, and he knows what his purpose is to serve people, but in a compassionate way. Just like I told you in my story, that I got to understand my purpose because of what I went through, the failure, and now I know when the Lord brings people my way for me to minister unto them, or to carry them through whatever I had gone through, I will not take advantage of anyone. I will speak life into them, because I now understand exactly what my purpose is, and the inner work I've done, the forgiving, the letting go of the pain, all that good stuff. I'm not going to give another example, but even when you look at Abraham, okay, let me just give one more example. Abraham, when you look at Abraham, he faced a lot of trouble. He did not have a child. His wife was too beautiful. Other men wanted to steal her. And then his turning point came when he gave birth to his child. Because even before he gave birth to Isaac, he gave birth to Ishmael. That was another mistake. You know what I mean? But his turning point came when the Lord told him to sacrifice his child. I feel like he must have looked at himself and said, have I not had enough trouble in my life? And during that time, I think when he was walking with Isaac to sacrifice him, that is the turning point in his life, where he did all the inner work, where he did Like, he was like, I'm not gonna challenge the Lord. I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna everything. And he literally put it in at the feet of the Lord. And he was like, okay, I'm humble. I will be obedient. I'll do what the Lord wants me to do. I feel like even when Isaac let his dad want to sacrifice him, he had seen how his dad had done the inner work and how he had yielded himself to the Lord to purpose. He's the father of nations, because by the time Isaac was to be sacrificed, he was a grown boy. He was like, I feel like he was like a teenager, maybe 18 years. He can easily refuse and say, no, you're not going to sacrifice me. But they had both done the inner work, and that was the biggest turning point in Abraham's life. And from there, the Lord said, now that you've done this, that's it. You are blessed. Everything you want, you will be whatever you want to be. Whatever was holding you back can never hold you back. That's it. And we all know that from that point on, even when Sarah passed on, Abraham was able to get even other kids. He lived even more. That's the last example I'm giving, but I hope you get my point, because I just wanted you to understand that whatever you're going through, the challenges, the trouble, don't just frown at it. Use it to understand exactly what the message is, what message is being communicated. Can you use that challenge that you're currently facing as your turning point, so that you don't keep repeating, so that you don't keep getting a series of problems to keep you repeating the same class? Okay, if you found this video interesting, I'm gonna link a playlist of other inspiring and motivating videos I've done before. I'll see you in the next video. Be blessed. What is the biggest turning point in your life? Take a moment and think about it. But when I was young, there was a program on TV called The Turning Point. And what is the biggest turning point in your life? As you think about the answer, I'm gonna tell you mine.